I love how you separate the people from the world, because you do that on the song Society. The world is governed by people who bullies. The world is governed by people who make the rules. But rules are always meant to be broken, because a rule is not a law. There's only 3 laws in our life. There's the law of God, the law of substance, and the law of conscience. And they're all spiritual. Yet, we give physical man the ability to stress us. What the hell is a bill with a piece of paper? Being weird was also the philosophy of those who came before, who said, this is what you say, but I see it this way. And then the great debates, the original colleges were made. Spiritual and Socrates versus Aristophanes and all of them. Now, hip-hop has become the great debate ground, very fertile, of the voice of those to be heard and those who are not being listened to. Emo rap. Tyler the Creator. How about?
Which, by the way, I feel like I say this every once in a while. Tyler the Creator is one of my inspirations.
He's dope.
Nobody, I don't know if anybody knows that, because a lot of people say, "Oh, Kendrick and da da da."
No, they just say he's gay and they don't listen to him.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
but nah, Tyler the Creator is definitely one of the goats. Yeah,
but
my time
with those people and Nick Grant, who also talks about morals in society.
Yeah, I met his manager. He's dope.
Now, Semi Savage is attacking the beast, which is the norm. What is the beast, and how do we beat it?
Perspective. You gotta channel your perspective and channel the way you think. Because if you don't, you're gonna mentally and spiritually just die slowly. If you don't learn how to think in a way that's gonna progress you and not stress you, then you're helpless. Think about I cannot think right now. I don't even know how to put this in the bigger words or better words.
Take your time.
What was the question again? What was the question again?
How do you beat this norm? How do you define it? What is the norm? What is this monster called norm? Is it short for Norman? Tell me, what is the norm?
Okay, all right. If we're asking that kind of goes back into the thing that we talked about before. Somebody can be like, oh, that's normal. Somebody can be like, oh, that's weird. I once had some ripped jean shorts that fit. They weren't super tight or anything, but they fit different and they look different. I thought they were different. And then that same day that I wore it once, somebody called me and said, yo, you look like a fuckboy. And I'm just like,
that's
me?
Funny somebody said that.
Yeah, it was a girl, and I'm just like, it made me feel so I was wearing those in a visor. So I'm thinking I'm in here on my weird vibes, looking nerdy and stuff like that. And she said that, so I'm like, fuck boy. That means that usually means somebody that's considered normal nowadays, because it's a consistent thing. When I say normal, I mean see, perspective. Once again, normal and weird can be looked at as different things. But I feel like somebody who's talking about I'm losing my train of thought.
You are, so let me help you.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the norm, because the norm is society's opinion of what things should be. Marvel Comics, before the Big 10 movie explosion, their president said, we're getting to a time of being a black and a gay is normal. And then that rushed in what we see now. That now we can make money off of it.
Wait, I gotta laugh at that though. Why did it why did it take for around the same time to come for somebody to say a black and a gay? I feel like being black should have been normal a long time ago. Being gay should have been normal a long time ago, but being black, being a race,
no.
Come on.
Not being black. A black and a gay.
Yes.
The is the emphasis.
On
it. And in that, what we're saying is, okay, we've done this so long that now we have to find other avenues to exploit it to make money. So, even in the midst of being a weird kid, there were still norms that were put in place to make certain morals change. Conscience law, moral law, God's law. So if that's the norm that we're fighting, What are we fighting? Now you said perspective. Now, from the 60s to now, that's what, 40 to 50 years it took for the norm to change.
You said from the 60s? Yo, that's like 60 years ago now.
That's my point. So then fighting the norm is not something that happens exactly. Where is this album going to rank when it comes to the time in which the perspective of the people change? Because that's how we fight the norm, something what you said is perspective. So how are we changing the perspective from this album?
How are we changing the perspective from this album?
Yes. See, I can't ask you a legacy question. I asked you that last interview.
Yeah.
So now we're talking about this album. So what does this album do to help fight the norm? New trains of thought.
I feel like it's gonna increase self-innovation, and if it does that, like, how do I say? Everybody's inspired by somebody,
That's right?
So, as I said before, as Tupac said before, if I don't change the world, I'm gonna spark the mind that does.
True.
Tupac might have heard that quote from somebody else.
True.
And I heard that quote from Tupac, and I'm saying it again now. Somebody else is going to hear that and hear my album and maybe think like, yo, I'm going to try to change the world too. Because if these people believe they can do it, I can do it too.
Right.
And I feel like this album is going to wake that up within you to say, if one person has done something, I can do it. And you shouldn't wait on that one person either. You should still seek innovation within yourself. But people will look like, oh yeah, Tupac, that's 1 in a million that did that. And everybody else became a doctor. And I don't really want to be a doctor, but I'm going to just go and be a doctor because that's the safety net. Nah, man. Nah, man. I've always had, my mom always asked me what's the plan B? And I tell her, oh, producing. She says, all right, what's plan C then? And I'm like, oh, well, I engineer now too. She said, okay, all right. Besides music.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm learning how to do cover arts and music videos. I understand that I'm a creative, so I'm going to keep like seeking that path. I'm not going to do what society is telling me to do. And my mom isn't society, so let's get that out the way. But
she has the thinking.
Yeah, she has to think what's going to be safest for her child. So I don't take any offense by the things that she offers.
You know what's bugged out? KRS One said back in the 80s and 90s, people would say, "You trying to be a rapper? Go to college, just in case rap doesn't happen."
People still say that.
People now are saying, "You're in college, try to rap." Because maybe college is not going to work.
You know what's funny?
Go ahead.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Wow. I literally actually did go to college for a semester.
Shout out to college.
Yeah, I went to college for a semester. I didn't drop out. I wanted to finish, but my pockets was getting real empty real fast. Essex County.
Shout out to Essex County College.
Yeah, shout out.
North New Jersey.
But I ironically went to the West Caldwell campus.
Shout out to West Caldwell, Essex County College. Shout out to West Caldwell and Cranford.
Yeah, but I went there and was just like, yo, I'm not making enough money to keep this up. Let me go try to sell some more mixtapes and some albums, and hopefully I can get signed and come back to college and include it in my contract like Roxanne did. So,
hey,
like,
that's what Prodigy did.
And Prodigy did. I didn't even know Prodigy did that too. But I'm saying, like, let me go and rap so I can make money for college. So it's just so funny you mentioned that.
Which is dope because at the end of the day, going back to the narrative that we're talking about, perspective and changing the game with the landscape of thought and vision. Tell me about that album cover.
I've been waiting for somebody to ask about this in an interview. I've done so many and nobody asked about it. So with the album cover, I literally just saw this dude on Instagram. I think he has about like 600 followers. And I'm like looking at his art, I'm like, yo, your art is so amazing. It's so amazing. I haven't done a cover art for this album, but the title is Trust the Weird Kids. Here's the track list. Didn't send him any songs. And he sent me back this. And I was just like, I fell in love with it instantly. Him, also, he's from Germany.
Dope. Shout out to Germany.
Shout out to Germany. That right there blows my mind. Like, yo, this is the world literally coming together to make something. Anyway, he sent it back. I fell in love with it, and that's him and Nipsey Hussle passing away is what sparked the idea of, me trying to create a vinyl of it.
Oh, the guy who did this passed away?
No. Nipsey Hussle passed away.
Oh,
I said Nipsey Hussle passed away.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit.
Oh no.
Okay.
Thank God he's still alive.
Okay.
But and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna make these $1,000 vinyls. I'm only gonna make 10 of them in the world, and I'm gonna try to sell this album as art.
Okay.
Because I mean, for one, there's art on the cover. And I believe in myself, and I hope that others believe in myself in that way. $1,000.
$1,000 per album?
Yep.
Okay.
And there's only 10 in the world.
That fucked me up. I'll tell him I get one.
But you know what's funny? A lot of people are just like, man, I would get one, but that's wild. And it's just like,
but no, that's dope.
Yeah, I wanted to. I look at it as art, and I feel like, you know, maybe Jay-Z might see it and be like, oh, that's nothing. Let me get that, and my career just flourishes, and it becomes the most rarest thing in the world, and it's being sold for millions and millions of dollars. And of course, I have one myself. So God willing, if I do blow up and my family somehow goes broke because the labels try to take the money or something like that, because they always doing shit like that, my family can sell that vinyl for millions.
Yeah.
God willing.
Well, part of who Savage is and growth is the physical dynamic of his expression. So before Savage was the baby picture. World was like Times Square, but the message was in the screens and in the windows of the buildings. The gray area had you alone, which is the gray area, decisive. And you're squatting at the ground because maybe that's where you make your decisions and thought. And then now you have a superhero emblem that came from art.
You're like the third person that said that. I like that.
What, a superhero emblem?
Yeah.
Well, think about it.
I didn't even think it was an S when I first saw it. And that's how beautiful art is. Sorry to interrupt. But when I first saw this thing, I said, yo, life is absolutely crazy. And you're just on a road, and you never know when that road's going to turn. And you're just looking at all these things around you. You could look at it as monstrous, like these eyes right here, which people may not realize they're eyes. Or,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, or you might look at it as beautiful and chaotic, but beautiful. And it's just the road of life. You're going through it. So much is happening around you. And you're just going. That's what I saw it as. I didn't even see it as an S until people told me that.
I'm gonna bug you out.
What?
I thought it was a spaceship.
What?
One of my favorite cartoons back in the day was Space Ghost. Now, you know anything about Space Ghost? Space Ghost would travel through space, of course, but his plane would leave a trail. So that what you call eyes, I thought that was like a jumping point.
Oh, from that
so
S is like
that space behind it, and the rest is the chaos around the ship.
No, it could be that. Why not?
I saw, like you said, the path.
Yeah.
But then there's planets seeping out of the path.
Wow.
So when I saw it, I was like, okay, either this is some superhero type joint, or this is what's called surrealism, which is art.
Oh, and one last thing, I'm just noticing this now. This part right here is specifically reminding me of those cups that I seen growing up. You know the white cups with like some like this color blue like splattered over it, and then there's like a purple like line running through it. And just seeing that made me a little like happy because like I love the 80s and I feel like that's kind of like an 80s thing.
So the thing I love about the expression is the fact that real art takes time to appreciate. So just like we just like, oh wow, that's the key to being a great artist. It's not what you say, it's what you help people feel. And weird kids always have their hearts in tune to the world, because that's what makes them weird. The expression of a weird kid helps make shit on shows like Stranger Things.
Yeah.
It helps make things like comic books, but it also helps us make music. So at the end of the day, I said this in the last interview, I think. Nina Simone said the job of an artist is to reflect the times in which they are in. How are you reflecting the time with this album?
This album is crazy. These times are crazy. This album is beautiful and chaotic, and the world right now is beautiful yet chaotic.